Welcome.
Let's go.
There is no game notes to check tonight because the Florida Panthers have ended the season. They took home the cup. We're going to wrap up that final game, and we have a special guest joining us. You want to tease them a little bit, Arm Dog?
Oh, I'm so pumped that we got him on. We actually tried to meet up with him down in Lauderdale, and it's been a long time since I saw him and since we caught up, so it'll be perfect to have him on the show today, Merles. Our rookie year in pro hockey was his rookie year as well as the assistant equipment manager for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. So he was the equipment guy for all of us, for Whit and Biz and us as well, and slowly climbed the ranks all the way up to Pittsburgh, eventually becoming a head equipment guy for the Florida Panthers. Teddy Richards, a longtime friend, and rookie season with you and I in Wilkes-Barre. We're so pleased and pumped to have him on here. The guy's a fucking absolute beauty and just an awesome guy. And it's great that we've stayed in touch. Hey, like we reached out to him, Merles, in Lauderdale, and he had an appointment. Of course, he was busy. It was the final, and we're like, hey, we just want to say hi. We're running around. We're going to stop by.
Can I get a broken stick to use outside for this ad? But so that's a little bit more than a tease, Arm Dog. Yeah, we got Teddy Richards coming on. I don't know what kind of shape he'll be on, but we're going to talk quickly about the game and the end, the celebrations we've seen, and then we're going to jump into his interview, and that is all brought to you by DraftKings. Yes, hockey fans, the finals are over. There's no more Stanley Cup games, but there's still plenty of action with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to get an NBA Game 7. You got the MLB, the FIFA Club World Cup, the soccer. I'm telling you guys, dig into that and so much more. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll take home $300 in bonus bets, minus 500 odds required, using code Chicklets. Stay in on the action and use $300 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets from the same game. I know you love those, Arm Dog. Love the thrill of live betting. DraftKings got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, do not worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have a chance to win cash prizes. Once again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code Chicklets and bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bet if your bet wins. That's promo code Chicklets only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours, Arm Dog.
Love it. Great read, buddy. On fire. Merles, you've been on absolute fire this whole playoffs. My appearance on Chicklets, I saw yours. I mean, we've gone our separate ways now, back to reality, isn't it? But like, what a run through the playoffs for you again, coming over on the Bird, the travel home. What was that like? Explain this, because you had us going in the group chat and you love to post your list of how busy you are and all the things you do, but that travel thing was insane.
Yeah, so after the game, I actually just went straight home because I knew what was coming on. I knew the cup wouldn't be at Elbow Room. But anyway, I got in the morning, and I'm going to get a coffee in the morning. I see a bunch of beer bottles on this table outside. I'm like, oh, somebody had a night. And as I keep walking more, I see 3 guys in suits. Oh, yeah, it's the Florida Scouts. The boys had a night. They were still going. So I went over, chatted with them a little bit, and then I headed to the airport. Just a 2.5-hour delay before my 3-hour flight to New York, 4-hour layover, 8-hour flight to Stockholm, 2-hour layover there, 3.5-hour train home. Here I am. I made it here. I'm back for midsummer in Sweden. The family's pumped up. I'm pumped up. And it's time for some rest.
Yeah, it is. It really is, man. And it's not done yet. I mean, we have the draft coming up next week. And then free agency following shortly after, and then really we're on summer break. Like shout out to the chat, they're rocking in here. Zach Boychuk's in here, the usual suspects. I love it. Big Willie Styles, he was in there first. He gets in there right away. This guy
always the first guy in there. Yeah, and it's a little early. We surprised you guys, came on a little early, but we needed to get this done. And Arm Dog, you've been busy. You're probably
buddy.
I mean, 75% of the male population's dream is to go to a Stanley Cup final game and the U.S. Open, and you did them in back-to-back days.
I mean, that was crazy. I had a 6:30 a.m. flight after Game 4 to get back here because I had tickets for my buddy Graham Dillette, who hooked me up, Sasky ex-PGA golfer. So he was in town working and broadcasting now, so he got me some tickets. I was able to bring my son, my wife, a buddy of his. and some other friends came too. But yeah, quick turnaround from the game to the early flight. Remember how panicked I was the night of the game too, when we got out of there? And then we had like a little van that actually had us driving around, which was absolutely the clincher of the whole finals this year. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. And Army, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you people in the chat, the clock just turned 0:00. Army's like, yep, time to go. Let's go. Let's get in the car. I'm like, no, Arm Dog. Like, you settle down. Like, we're not all going to sit in traffic because you booked the 6:30 flight. I'm like, hold on.
Whit, in typical Whit fashion, who was really testy that night, of course, kicking us out of the suites and the whole deal. Me and Merles are running around. We watched we were like in 4 different boxes and suites and meeting different. It was insane. We were rocking all over that rink. And then we were like in the bar hanging out with Clarky MacArthur, his wife, Jess. Great running into them. Amazing. And we watched on like TVs. All of a sudden the Netters boys are there. Big Caesar wheels up. Just a beauty. It was electric. But yes, I and then our bus, when we left, we were going home. And Merle's like, no, we can't. We got to stop by Memesy's like, we got to swing by the elbow room. Everyone's going to be there. Memesy's just like a diehard. So we drive right by the hotel in the van. I'm like, what's going on? I want to get out. No, go right by it to drop Memesy and the boys off at the elbow to get them going. So I think
Memes still might be there. His flights got canceled, I believe.
He's in hell. He is in hell right now. Absolute hell. But 6:30 flight, landed, got home. Showered like right away. I was tired. I was dragging ass out into the humid heat. It did not rain that day. Of course, there was tons of rain at Oakmont here in Pittsburgh. Today's the first summer day, Merles, also for us here in Pittsburgh. It's been raining and raining and raining. Biggest rain on record this time of the year. But did the U.S. Open then yesterday or 2 days ago. 2 days ago was my son's birthday, 15. Great to have him back home. My mom arrived the other day, too. She's doing some power skating stuff, renting some ice. They're there right now, actually, doing that. My daughters are in a cheer camp. I'm a cheer dad. Get them to cheer camp every day so far. Unbelievable. And today is my 16-year wedding anniversary to my beautiful wife, Melissa. So the hits keep coming.
That was buddy. 16 years ago, that act in Atlanta?
16 years ago with you there, extending your trip another week to hang out with all my buddies and going to Atlanta Braves games and everything. You're the best. That's why you're my favorite memory, actually, of our wedding, which is hilarious because you were just right in there with all my friends, like so easy. Merles is a glue guy. Merles is the glue guy. So I've been running hot ever since. And I got tickets to go. Sorry, go ahead, Mer.
Yeah, no, I was going to say at that wedding is when, Oshie made it famous, but one of your buddies did the Ghost Man.
The Ghost Man, JP Allen. Shout out to JP Allen. Yeah, I thought he invented it.
That wasn't my idea. That was his idea.
Yeah, you put your shirt over your head and drink your beer through your shirt. And that's an old Sasky move from JP Allen.
And then there was another guy going and like ripping my shirt off. He kept ripping my shirt down the middle, every T-shirt I had. He just blow up my shirt. It was a belligerent wedding.
Shirt rips. Absolutely. You got to do the shirt rips. I got tickets last night, though, from an angel, Steve Byrne, a Pittsburgh comedian, Netflix specials. Look him up. Hilarious guy and the nicest guy in the world. Came to town to perform with Adam Ray, who is Dr. Phil. He does that traveling Dr. Phil show. If you have social media, I'm sure you've seen this guy on Kill Tony and all the great comedy things. So he got me tickets last night to that. So I actually took my wife on a date, which we haven't been on in forever because of hockey. And Merle's how it is.
4 kids. Yeah.
4 kids, just insanity. So we went out last night to a comedy show, hung out with them. That Anthony Jeselnik, Pittsburgh comedian as well, was there. Got to meet him. Absolute cutthroat comedian with his jokes and delivery. It was so cool just talking to them about their acts and their art and like how they do it. And meeting them in person, not performing on stage, like kind of crazy that they're like kind of different people. Like when they get into performer mode, how they are, and then backstage or just hanging out, they're just like regular mild-mannered, nice guys, but on stage they're beasts, So we had a great time last night, and with the wife, a little date leading into the 16-year wedding anniversary here today on Midsummer. What a
congrats on that. 16 years. I got a guy that's going to be getting married next summer after all this madness. Let's get G in and see what his last week's been up to.
Let's go, G.
My last week has been great because, as you guys know, I'm a rumor boy guy, and Merles, you set the world on fire yesterday. Connor McDavid to a team that starts with T, but it ain't Toronto. It's Tampa. And I can't stop thinking about Connor McDavid playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 0 state tax. Nikita Kucherov, Ted Lindsay winner. You know, he's got a goalie in Vasilevsky. He's got Hedman.
I said that, but then that interview came out after where
exactly. So for those who don't know, like this whole thing about Merles said it first. A lot of the times, Merles does say it first. Like these trades, these rumors, like 2 years prior, he'll be like, oh, yeah, scout told me at Elbow that McDavid's going to Toronto. And you're like, oh, okay, Merles. Yeah, good one, dude. And then like 2 years later, it happens. And you're like,
hey, look back at our trade show. I had the Marchand to Florida right at the start of the show. And then by the end, it closed. And that ended up being the biggest deal.
Because some scout in a bar in Montreal at 2 a.m. told us that's when you do your work. That's when the rumor boys do their best work.
The loose lips come out late at night.
Hell yeah, boys.
And so it's been fun.
They were flying at the Elbow too, and we were in there. We saw some, parents of some players hanging out off both teams, mind you. So just to say that, so we won't give too much away. Got a little asking about certain situations, and we got a little bit of info. It was rather nice.
Can I follow up on this this Tampa rumor though, Merles? Like, what were you hearing? Because we kind of glossed over it on the Chicklets episode, but like McDavid to Tampa, it sounds like. What are you hearing? How would that get done?
Yeah.
What are the details behind this rumor?
There wasn't much detail. Just said that it was a rumor. It makes a lot of sense. He's got to be so sick of this media up in Canada, like all these guys are. A team from Florida, won the Cup 4 of the last 6, is it, or something? And they've been in the finals 5 of the last 6.
I think I had them winning this year. If we go back and look at our bad predictions. And when Florida won, Kachuk was asked about their run and what it was like, and he specifically mentioned Tampa Bay as being like their hardest. I know they went 7 with Toronto, but he specifically said like they had to be ready to go out the gates against Tampa, and like Tampa was like kind of dialing up for this epic run. That's how I felt, and then they have the weapons to do it too. So.
Would you feel that's like LeBron-esque if he does that? Like it is similar to LeBron going to the Heat. Like the Heat won in 08, right? Or 07 or something, 06. And what? LeBron went 4 or 5 years later. It's like Tampa won 4 years ago, and now McDavid's going there, leaving the small market, going to the warm, tax-friendly state. I don't know. Like, do you think he would get a ton of shit?
I just think when I heard that, I was like, well, that makes a lot more sense than Toronto, because everybody's been saying Toronto. Like, who wants to go deal with that media?
I don't know. Yeah. And it was so funny. Keith was like Tampa right away because there's only 2 teams and he wanted to get a shot in at Biz on that on Chicklets earlier this week. But what a rumor. What a buzz. I think hockey players are more guys like they're kind of more like unfinished business. I'm the guy that's supposed to do this here to the LeBron conversation. Did you guys see it like that too?
I feel like it's always been like that. But if McDavid does this, it's kind of like, well, he's the face of the league. How can we say that hockey players aren't like the NBA if Connor goes to Tampa Bay?
And I would I think he'll stay there. But if he does leave, I would like Tampa over Toronto. I would think 100%. But I think he's going to stay there, like you say, and finish business. Him and Leon, best of friends. But if he does move, I don't see him going to Toronto at all. Is basically the end of it.
I could honestly see like a shorter term deal. Like they're talking about that with Marner. Like maybe like 3 or 4 years, like stay in Edmonton, try to get it done with Leon, and then after that he can fuck off.
Yeah, like how old is he right now? 27, 28? What is he right now? Around that age, right?
Like
he's 27.
97 birthday, right?
Memes and McDavid moving to Florida. Canada is crumbling. Memes so badly wants to move to Florida now.
We need him there.
But after he lived the Yans life down there, what a setup. Oh my God, what a set. Like this was a final for the ages for Chicklets, I feel. Just unbelievable. Great dinners. Having Keith, his setup, his like where to go, what to do, how do we do it? Like it just was so perfect for us, G. The hotel was fucking insane. We were
we're not even we haven't even brought on the guy who partied with the cup.
Yeah, that's right. We got to get him in here. You guys left us down there. You left me down there with Memes and Pasha, and this guy runs off on us and goes and celebrates the cup. How
Pasha,
you feel?
What's up, boys?
You were all over the TV, Pasha. I was sending pictures to the group chat. You were just fully involved down on the ice.
I got a lot of text saying I just saw you lurking in the back behind Maurice, behind Marchand, just fucking lurking around in the back. But I mean, what a night, boys! What a night for West Vancouver legend Samson Reinhart, back-to-back cups. This guy just does it all. Pretty special to see. Unbelievable.
What was it like?
You remember what time did you walk into your hotel room?
I walked in at 5:30 a.m.
Oh, not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Good set. What was the difference? Because you were there last year too, right? You were with them last year.
Yeah.
Was there like kind of a difference? Like they seemed obviously the second time around to the celebration more organized, like they had a plan, like they had it all set up, and then being down there on the ice, was there like kind of different feeling from Sam this year than last year from what these guys are saying?
I wouldn't say necessarily a different feeling from Sam, or hard to say, not obviously being inside of his head. For me, I would say last year just felt a little more special just because it was the first, and you never know if they're going to get a cup. This year was different because his brothers and parents were there, so it was cool to see them sort of enjoy it and hang out with them as they celebrated. So that was sort of a different twist to it. But just, equally as amazing. I would say it felt busier, like both on the ice and in the room, it felt more crowded and busier. I don't know if there was more family there this year or what it was, but it was awesome. And I mean, like last year I was like in shock. I'm like, holy fuck, he scored the cup winning goal. And then this year I'm like, holy fuck, he scored 4 goals. Like it was
we're standing there watching, and then like he's working, like doing the vlog, and Memes is putting the socials, and I'm like, empty netter, like he might get the hat trick. Posh like, oh shit, all right, we go and watch, bang, goal. He's going bananas. Then he's back over there, like I think you're probably uploading like the certain videos to everything, and I'm like, Pasha, he's gonna pull him again. Get over here, Reinhardt's out there. Boom, he comes over, and Pasha just lost his mind.
Unbelievable.
I knew it too. I was like on the group chat. I'm like, Reinhardt, empty netter, Hattie. Then there was a possibility for the fourth. It was crazy. But before the game, even on our group chat again, our group chat's unbelievable. I mean, we're all over everything. Merle's had it first, but we were like going into that game, we were just talking about different things, but then we came up with it. We're like, look at this game. It's like a big time elimination game on home ice. Who's going to be the guy that gets it done? Who's the guy that always we're like Reinhardt's
obviously
for
him,
sure.
Yeah.
We were like all over Reinhardt 100%. And the thing I love about him, guys, too, is he's just not flashy. He's just he's very Bergeron-esque with the way he can play the game. He's not fast. He's really crafty and smart and minimalist in his
doesn't cheat the game.
No, and it's just like perfect. He just does it perfect. He's humble. He's quiet. I mean, he's been electric on social media lately, him and Barkov. I didn't know Barkov was like this either. Barkov's like doing Instagram lives. And
seeing a different side of them. Yeah.
They're unreal. Sammy's on the stripper pole in Miami
last
night.
Fuck, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect segue right there, Pasha, because you were at the cup party, but we got a guy, I think he's been at every party since. And that's head equipment manager Teddy Richards. Let's get him in there. There he is, the man behind the scenes. Thank you. There he is, Ted Richards. Let me give you. Army already kind of stole the whole intro doing the tease, but third Stanley Cup the other night, silver medal for Team USA at the Four Nations. You started with us in Wilkes-Barre back in 02-03. Moved up to head equipment manager after a few years, then moved to Pittsburgh as an assistant, won a Stanley Cup there, and then moved on to Florida. Teddy, we always love talking to you. How you feeling after last night?
Yo, buddy.
I'm here. We'll say that. I'm here. I'm excited to be on your show, but we're actually at the rink. We're packing gear. We came in yesterday with all the champagne showers. So we actually washed gear all day yesterday, came back today, packed it up, and we have our exit physicals tomorrow. So I think it was like 4:30 a.m. night for me, 8 a.m. alarm. So we're here.
Yeah, you guys
feel
are
great.
used to that. You're used to that though, Teddy. How many years is this now, Merle, since our rookie year?
It's is it 23 seasons?
Wow,
Oh,
good for
right,
you,
something
buddy.
like that.
And I honestly, I was never prouder, Merle's. Like, I retired, moved back here the year that Teddy won the cup in Pittsburgh, the first of back-to-backs. Then he took the job. I was kind of nervous to hang around the room and the boys, and like I just knew like Fleury, Sid, Letang, Gino, and the training staff and Teddy. And so like I was like, it was awkward for me, but when you left, I was so happy and proud of you that you got the head job. Like you took that job and went and became like the head guy, climbing the ranks all those years. So congrats on going back to back as a head equipment trainer. When it says that on the cup, is that crazy?
Yes, no, I love that. Thank you very much. It was just always it was my desire to pursue the next advancement in my career. I always wanted to be a head guy in the NHL, and I'm very fortunate to be here.
Yeah,
Merle's,
it's crazy to see because I remember you as a little kid. You didn't know anything. It was my rookie year too, but I always took good care of the trainers because my brother was a trainer, so I always appreciated you guys. But I got to ask more about the Panthers. We heard a rumor that they destroyed the locker room last year, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. Did anything change from this year's celebration because of that?
You get the Dexter kill room set up in there with all the
we actually did, yeah. So last year, that's true. There's a lot of damage. From the day before to the day after, actually everything was replaced identical. So the ceiling tiles, the carpet, the rubber, the stalls, the cushions, everything was replaced. So
wow.
Total gut job, but it was the exact same stuff we put back. They did put the Dexter kill room up, so we had that going. But I will say, I came in the next morning. We opened up our food room, the wives' lounge. I thought there was a dead body in there. That's how bad the food, the beer, it just sits in there. So it's a pretty strong smell. You have to kind of get used to a little bit. But we did a great job this year. So we tried to clean it ourselves for about 4 days last year. We knew that wasn't the way to do it. So we hired that Serve Pro. They came in, cleaned the locker room 10 a.m. the next morning.
Oh, man, that's amazing. You guys got to do all that. Explain for the people, because you guys are the unsung heroes really of this. And here's some of the scenes in the dressing room. There's champagne flying everywhere. Look at this. Like, you could imagine how bad that is. But like the unsung hero day-to-day work of you and your staff and what you guys do, getting up at 8 a.m. after being out just winning the Stanley Cup. Like, I mean, it's never ending for you guys. You guys live at that rink.
Our coach, Paul Maurice, talked to us this year, and he said, 3 years in a row, we're beating you guys down. You're at the rink every day. And I said, Paul, actually, it's kind of all we know what to do now. Where it's so ingrained in us. We just go to bed, wake up, come back to work. So I think we're blessed to have been so successful that we're used to the grind right now. But we are looking forward to a few weeks off here. And we have, draft, dev camp, free agency coming up. So maybe like July 10th, I'll have a couple of days off. Looking forward to it. And then in Florida, we open up ice pretty quick, first Monday in August. So brand new practice facility. A lot of guys love spending the summer in Florida. So we open up the facility. They come in and skate with us.
I want to ask two things about Florida players. I want to know if there's any players that were as low maintenance as I was as a player on Florida this year.
It's a funny question. So at one of our rookie dinners, Matthew Tkachuk, he gets us talking. Who's the highest maintenance guy? Who don't you like? He asked who was lower maintenance between himself and Sam Reinhart. And they're both very, very low maintenance. But I said, Matthew, like you use one pair of gloves a year, one pair of skates a year, 4 games, 1 stick. You win. Like you're the guy. Rhino was so upset he lost. I remember later in the night, we're both kind of shoulder to shoulder at a urinal. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, he was pissed. It really bothered him throughout the night. So we kind of still bring it up to him, but he's a great guy. I would. We're very. Luster-Ryan, he's next level. So what we do is we give him Barkov's used pants and used gloves. So it's funny. We just take black marker, black the name out Barkov, and he can't. I mean, we have him signed for a couple years, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you think we could get my name in my gloves?" And I'm like, "Not really. We're not going to be able to do that for you. Sorry." But he's great. So it's funny. Whenever Barky gives us something back, we just put it right on his new gear shelf.
Amazing. Yeah, like people don't know who's a crazy one to deal with. Like,
who's the Whitney?
Yeah,
Who's
who has
the
the most
Whitney?
gloves? Who has 100 sticks in their stick rack? Like, who's the guy you're like, hey, like, what's going on here every day?
Yeah. So in Florida, we're lucky. Sticks are pretty good. No one's 3 sticks a game. In Pittsburgh, we had a couple monsters. 3 sticks a game for a bunch of guys. Down
like
here,
cutting down new sticks every game, right?
It's
3
insane,
new ones
yeah.
a game. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So we're lucky. One new stick a game. That's kind of where my guys are at. A couple guys have some gloves going. I think that's probably the new, like, just the switching the gloves is where it's at. But it's just routine. It's what they need to get on the ice. So it's not a pain to us.
Yeah, it's so different because when we played, you remember how hard it was to break in gloves?
Yeah.
We'd have them for weeks. You'd tape them up. We'd put them on that hydroculator machine in Pat's office.
Skates
But
too.
now they come and they're ready to go.
Yeah, we travel new gloves for guys. We'll just say, hey, I need a new pair of gloves. Like, put them on and wear them for the game. There's no break-in process.
Is it different now being in Florida comparatively to up in Pittsburgh or in Wilkes with the weather and different things with the equipment and preparing all that stuff all the time? And how detailed is it for you on your side taking care of your team? But when you go on runs like this, just making sure your rink is operational with other staff and everything, and how detailed is that as you get going in playoffs and everything like that?
Yeah, I just work off a big to-do list. I'm just always writing stuff down, crossing it off, rewriting my list.
That's what Merle's does.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. And this way,
He's actually really busy,
as a player, if you ask me to do something, I forget. So I always write it down so I don't forget. That's something I take a lot of pride in. If something's needed, I always do it. But conditions in Florida, I would say storage for like hockey tape. So we learned the adhesive hockey tape.
It sticks to itself.
We're ordering, same color, same brand, where maybe, Chucky had it in Calgary, and he's like, it just feels different. So I learned how you store, tape as the example could be the climate, where you're at. But we do
what about like the skates? The skates break down more down there to seem like anything like that, or not really?
I would say gloves is a little faster. Guys do say their gloves break down a little faster down here
Mm-hmm.
because but they're inside at the rink. We have a great rink here. They put a couple $1 million renovation into the rink. The new Zamboni ice, all that was probably 4 or 5 years old.
And what you don't know, Merles, is Teddy actually not only is head equipment trainer of the Florida Panthers and back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, he also is JJ Spawn. He hoisted the championship at Oakmont last weekend. It looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
I wish I had that paycheck. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say you didn't know that he was also head equipment manager for Team USA at Four Nations. Yes. I know the fans want to hear a little bit about that because you got to work with all the stars, and just trying to organize that whole mess had to be something.
What a tremendous honor. And I like to start, especially with you two guys. Remember our first year in Wilkes-Barre, Herb Brooks was there with us, Craig Patrick, and that was before the movie came out. So we didn't, we knew who he was, but we didn't know Miracle.
Didn't really know. Yeah, we were young guys, hey?
And then kind of fast forward to me, I always USA was my top goal. I wanted to do something for USA Hockey. Just with playing, I never worked any worlds. I wasn't able to do that because, I was fortunate. We made a lot of playoffs throughout my career. So this came about it was like a natural born connection with Mike Sullivan, to John Hines, to Billy Guerin, Tommy Fitzgerald, to my GM, Bill Zito. It was like a match made in heaven for me. Like, I don't think I could have had any more connections to go to USA Hockey. Yeah. And actually, one funny note, my wife's from El Salvador, and she didn't really understand what USA Hockey was. So we watched the movie Miracle together, and I explained to her, Herb Brooks, what I was 19 years old, and you guys know, he gave us time. He talked to us. He didn't need to talk to me, but I remember just being in the lounge there, listening to Herbie talk. So I always had that connection to him and USA Hockey.
Yeah, Herbie was electric. Him coming in there, he was so good to us, all of us. He was like great. And then I saw the movie, and he seemed like a hard ass. I'm like, that's not the same guy we knew. Like he was amazing, taking me out to lunch. And the one thing I can think of, Teddy, because you and I were the same age. I was 19 at the time as well, turning 20 that year. You took me. Do you get home very much back to Wilkes at all? And I remember you took me to Ski and Diane Super Bowl party down in the basement at their house. I went with Teddy. He took me to his friend's Super Bowl party. Just electric.
All right, I'll tell you the funny story about Ski and Diane. Fantastic guy. So Ski, Robert Mashinsky's his name. He was my father's best friend. So his wife got an insurance settlement. She got injured. He took all that money and renovated his basement at parties. It was well worth it. Well worth it. So every year he would open up a Super Bowl party, but it was next level. So all the boys would come over. And I remember like you guys would start there and then the team would have their own party.
Yep.
A lot of times you boys would come back to skis because it was just, things were going pretty good there and beers are flowing. So it was a good time. So it was funny. Yeah, you go to his house, just a house in Wilkes-Barre, and then you walk down, it's a split level, walk down the basement.
Sports bar down there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah, because you two were too young to go to the Woodlands. You guys you had to go to house parties.
So did you love that, Teddy? And is your team like that this year from all accounts, Maurice to the players, about the group? And anytime you win, there's this different bond. There's no question. Like it's to go through that together. But we used to spend a lot of time together in Wilkes. Like all of us, like Gracie would be there, our radio, like he called the games on the voice of the Wilkes-Barre Penguins. He was at every party. You were kicking around. Like we're just young. We were all together. Is that the same kind of vibe from what we're hearing with this group you have in Florida?
Yeah, we have a great group. We have great leaders. Barkey's leading the way. Matthews right there. Bobrovsky, fantastic guy. So we do something called captain's dinners. So those guys I just mentioned, they take all the trainers, multiple times a season out. And then we'll invite another, a couple other players with us, but it's all the trainers and all the captains multiple times throughout the season, just having a nice sit-down dinner on the road. So, I mean, that's awesome. We haven't done that in the past. So we have a great group that really embraces all of us.
Yeah, I used to just throw you and Doomy the money I made off those mutts in the back from cards. I here, go out to dinner, guys. I know you're going to have to go on packing. It's going to be late.
Yeah, we missed those days for sure.
Oh, that was so fun because we get the per diem. I'd win some money. Like, here, get the boys out. And I just wanted to ask more about Florida. Like, when did it change the cultures there? You were there in the beginning. Tom Rowe, a good friend of mine, my old coach, he brought you in. I know that team wasn't always great, but something has flipped. Something's changed. Can you pinpoint the exact moment?
I can, yes. But Tom Rowe, Tom hired me, so I give him a lot of credit. He, took a chance on me. I was 33 years old. I was the youngest in the NHL. So, I a lot of grateful, good memories to Tom Rowe for that. We had a good relationship. He was only here 1 year, unfortunately, with us. But my answer would be Bill Zito. Absolutely, Bill Zito came in, and he knew everything had to change. From our coffee machine to everything had to get better. And it's just like he didn't let anybody stand in his way, and that's what I love about the guy.
And and what was the difference before? Like I played in Atlanta, Teddy, so it was like it's just a different coming from Pittsburgh going to Atlanta. I was like, this isn't how you do it. This isn't how like Sid does it. This isn't how Michel Terrier does it. Like what was it like that before? So it's a pretty stark change when a guy comes in and wants to rattle the cage like that, like Zito did.
I think when you look at the organization, the ownership, Mr. Viola was losing money, 35, 40 million a season. There's things put in place that we have to control our spending, control the budget. I recall having sit down monthly budget meetings. Like, how can we not spend money? And I don't have meetings anymore. Not that we're reckless, but we just, we're doing so much better now, but also with the emphasis of taking care of our players, giving them what they need. Yeah. I remember one time, kind of a funny story. They said, we're doing a dev camp and we have $100,000. That's our budget. How could we save money? I said, let's cancel dev camp. They didn't like that idea. So, but it's funny. I think like the flights alone were $97,000. So,
yeah. So here you have $3,000. Good luck, Teddy. Get him through this.
Yeah, hearing Terry and that's probably your biggest accomplishment, surviving him as an assistant equipment manager those years in Wilkes-Barre. Might be that's more success than 3 Stanley Cups surviving that, because I remember the way he was some of the time. Yeah. But
I'll give you one funny Terrian story. But Terrian was Michael was very good to me. But it was his attention to detail. Yeah. And he did tell me he appreciated me. So even as hard as he was, he respected me.
That's a great feeling when he did that, hey? Because he didn't.
Yeah. I remember something. He's like, yeah, you're a young kid, but you'll be around for a long time. And just like he gave me a few extra seconds. So he was good to me. The very first time, so Michael had a son, Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
And sometimes as a 19-year-old for me, he would have me babysit Charlie.
Yeah.
So the first time I babysat Charlie, I took him to my house, and I had a dog at the time. So we went there, and Charlie grabbed both my dog, the ears, and shook his face. My dog bit him right in his face.
Oh, no.
I remember, please don't tell your dad. Please don't tell your dad. The very first time I babysat Charlie, got bit right in the face by my dog. So that was a tough one.
I would have been shitting my pants.
Yeah. Yeah,
that
I was.
would have been my 100th meeting, and I was trying to catch Merle's at 102 meetings that year.
Yeah.
With Michelle. What was the growing pains, I guess, or learning how to do it on the fly? I remember your first year. I don't know if you want to share that story. It's kind of funny now. Exhibition preseason games up in Canada. I texted you and I was like, oh no, because there was it was a picture of it, obviously. Thank God it wasn't like today. It would have been bigger news probably, but at that time.
It's funny. Actually, the NHL set a new rule in place. They call it the Teddy Richards rule. So teams. So what we're talking about here is, unfortunately, we had a neutral site game, us versus Dallas, that both teams brought their white game jerseys. So we had to play the game. So it was hard for the players on the ice to see the differences of the jersey. If I could give you an excuse, and it's a poor excuse, we were on a multi-day training camp road trip for whatever reason. I think we played at West Point, and then we went from there to London, Ontario, where on paper we were the home team. So by rights, I should have brought my home Reds. I didn't think about it. I was young, just never experienced that before. So I brought my whites for the 2 games. Dallas brought their white for the game. And it wasn't very, so that feeling, like once you understand what's going on, man, it's just, they made me go tell the referees. It was just not a good environment. Like it was a bad
you were probably deathly sick when you got a text from me like, oh, what happened here, Teddy?
You know what? I'll tell you the coolest thing. So that was the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
We flew to Dallas that night. So even extended road trip. We flew to Dallas. I got to see my brother. I got to hang out with Snoop Dogg that night.
Oh, no.
Oh,
that was a cool one. So he was a DJ in a show. My brother worked for somebody. We were able to go hang out with Snoop in his hotel. So that was a really shitty day to a really cool night.
Yeah. What is the head up to, as he's referred to, your younger brother? Because you were assistant equipment manager. He was like stick boy, I would call him, for us those first few years down there. And I love that Doomy had you guys dressed in the little golf shirts and the khakis. And he ended up going on. He worked a little bit with Dallas, right?
Yeah, he did. I saw him.
He's actually here right now. He's somewhere around the locker room. Josh is doing well. Yeah, he worked with me in Wilkes-Barre. The summer I went to Pittsburgh, he went to Dallas. I think he spent 4 seasons there, and then they parted ways. He was let go. But what he did is he stayed in Dallas. He works for a baseball player. Derek Holland is his name. So he lives with Derek. He works with them. He just takes care of his properties. Now that Derek's done playing, he takes care of his investments. And then he's doing some stand-up comedy. So that's kind of funny.
Really?
I was going to say, I thought he got into like wrestling or something.
He was doing like backyard wrestling, like barbed wire matches and shit, wasn't he? Oh, we glitched him?
Uh-oh.
I think he was doing, Teddy, backyard wrestling, we're saying, if you didn't hear that.
Yeah, no, he was. That was Am I losing you?
Nope.
Oh, you're good now.
You're good.
We may be losing him a bit.
Don't worry, we're only live
Am
here,
I losing
Teddy.
you?
Florida put all their money into the players. They didn't get internet for these guys.
Yeah, he's glitching. He's glitching on us.
All right.
Are we out?
Teddy's the man. Yeah,
Sorry,
the equipment guys. We talk a little bit about equipment guys. How they really are behind the scenes. Nothing happens without those guys, and the athletic trainers the same way. Their teams they work through the night. You get in late, doesn't matter. I know. I wish he was back on here. I know Doomy used to sleep like on the trainer's table all the time after laying the gear out. It's crazy what they do.
I'm just so proud of him, Merles. It's such a blast from the past to see Teddy doing so good and started our first year and just seeing guys with success and climb the ladder. And we were there right from day one to see where he's at now running the show. Is we getting him back? This would be electric if we got him back.
Yeah, I was hoping I could have stayed down in Florida a little longer.
His internet's drunk.
I would have liked to gone and see him and celebrate a little bit. I didn't feel comfortable going. I don't really know any of the players.
Yeah.
So I felt weird if I went to hang out with them. But if Teddy, I would have loved to gone and had a couple beers and play with the cup with him.
Until we get him back, boys, breaking news, Jonathan Taves to Winnipeg.
Oh, hold on. Wait. Pasha Friedman.
Pasha Friedman. Breaking news. No
Taves
way.
to Winnipeg.
Any details on that?
Wow.
Did I call
Not
that?
yet.
I called that.
I think I called that.
I thought you called Anaheim.
Oh, gee, you said Anaheim.
I said, go, fuck both of you guys. Go back and watch the clip. I said, I got two teams. I got two teams. Army puts on his Winnipeg hat, and I go, it's going to be Winnipeg because they just lost to Adam Lowry. He's out for the first 3 months.
That's right. You did tie the link to that. You and I were both on. I think I had it first while you were talking. I butted in over top of you and said it before you could say it, but you're right. You're right. Game Notes had it. Here's Teddy. I thought we were going to get a shower scene. I thought we were going to get a Teddy Richards shower scene there in the background.
Sorry about that, guy.
We're losing him.
No worries. No worries, Teddy. It was awesome. We're losing you. We're losing you. Too much partying down there in Florida. Yeah. I'm going to do a quick ad in case maybe we can get him back by then, Arm Dog.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it,
right.
buddy.
This episode is also brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. This summer, cool off with Body Armor Chill. You see this right here? See this one? A bold new way to hydrate with no artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners. Enjoy a new, refreshing, cooling sensation in 3 impossibly cold flavors: frozen berry, frozen cherry, and of course, G's favorite, frozen orange. Available for a limited time. Grab yours at 7-Eleven or a store near you. Arm Dog, we were pounding these things down in Florida.
Pounding them, giving them away. Whoever showed up with the bottles got tickets. 2 tickets, Teddy, and a signed Matthew Tkachuk jersey to Game 4. We did that twice down by the elbow room on A1A. Is that the name of the street? A1A.
Yep.
Just an absolutely electric street. Do we have Teddy? He's just got horrible internet connection. What's he?
Oh, okay, Zito. Upgrade the coffee machine. Time to upgrade the Wi-Fi. We got to be calling in more often to these guys.
I just want to ask Teddy what he did with the cup last year, what that was like, and if we can get him back. If we can't, no big deal. And what he's going to do this year. You know, you get it again. You think about all the things that you would have done different, maybe if it happens, and like what would you do next? What would you do if you won the cup, Murr?
Yeah, I know I would have brought it back to Troy for sure. And then I would have brought it right down to the rink. There's this Knickerbocker ice rink. I talked about it on here before. They reopened it. My dad designed it all and basically got it built. So I would have brought it into there, let all the kids see it. And then you know where I would have brought it for the day? Saratoga horse track. I would have been up there at Saratoga race course, out in the back, the picnic tables. Imagine walking by, seeing the Stanley Cup sit there, and I've been betting, drinking out of the cooler. It would have been a time.
Dragging the cooler, carrying the cup at the picnic, racing people to get the best picnic table. Just absolutely brutal.
I just always imagine that. That would have been perfect spot.
Yeah, that would.
You never know. Maybe I'll get back into scouting or coaching.
Might be a GM
climb the ranks.
You know, all these ideas. You think you'd make a great GM, buddy. I'm just saying.
Zito's one of my old friends. Maybe he can get me in there, and they're going to win it again next year.
I don't know if you saw Merles because you were there. Did you see when Zito got the cup on the ice?
Not really. We were kind of
it's too hard. Like on TV, you get the shots, and like he looked like he was like in like he wanted to like kill someone, but he also at the same time looked like he was going to cry. Like it was so passionate when he grabbed it. And I got to hand it to him. I mean, what they've done there, and now listening to Teddy, how like, you know, their meetings are ran and the way they changed it and what Zito's done, finding the right guys. And that's the staff too, right? Like your staff is so important day to day, hanging out with the guys, having the personalities that can work with everybody. Like those guys are more than just doing equipment. They're like your buddies. Like how many times you just go in the training room and everyone's hanging out in there chatting and shit, hanging out. Like it's big time what those guys bring, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta shout out all like the assistant general manager, Gregory Campbell, and then Brett Peterson. We saw down there a bunch. I kept running into him everywhere. All the scouts. I saw Backman around a bunch. They're you know, their scouting staff is incredible. You saw Marchand going nuts last night on his Instagram, thanking all the teams. All these players have come from somewhere else. So these pro scouts that made that said get these guys on waivers or get them in trades. Congrats to all of them. The amateur scouts who did draft some of these guys, incredible stuff. Did we get a tech guy down there? We need a new tech guy in Florida.
Is Josh Head in there just working and grinding around? Just getting
that's what blocked the internet. His head.
His head.
Sorry about that, guys. I quickly tried to run in the coach's room. I figured this would be the best Wi-Fi connection in here. So.
Yeah, so we were talking before you were probably scrambling to set up. What'd you do last year with the Stanley Cup, Teddy? And any different plans this year? Hey, I did that last year. I wish I would have done this instead. And this year, what you're going to do?
Yeah, my first year back in Pittsburgh, I was able to take it to Wilkes-Barre. So we had a great event. I learned from that day I was too busy. I planned a different activity every hour and a half. It was just way too much. All I did was just run around. So I didn't have time to, and they always say, like, you need time for yourself to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So just way too busy of a day. It was a great day, but just way too busy of a day. So last year we did 4 activities. I started at my house in the morning. We just invited maybe 75 people over. We did a little breakfast buffet for 3-4 hours. Yeah. I went to the Broward County Sheriff Department. So they just opened a brand new training facility. It was really cool. They had 250 officers come. So it was an awesome event. Got to see their setup. From there,
veteran get on the right side of the cops.
It was we had a great time. It was awesome. From there, some of my assistants didn't get time at the Cup. They didn't all get days. So I took a few hours of the day and said, hey, get all your families together. That'll be your time. So all my game night guys, my assistants that didn't get time with it, we had right on the water, beautiful restaurant. Spent a couple hours there, which was really cool. Actually, the sheriff boat brought me up the canal with the Stanley Cup. So that was awesome.
That is sick.
Paying off already. What a move.
Yeah. And then we went, I was very, very fortunate. So my oldest son, when he played youth hockey, was a goalie. The other goalie, his father owns a golf course here. So good connection for me to have, but it's a extremely high end, very exclusive. I know Jans is a member there, Coral Ridge. So he shut the facility down for the dinner for that night. And it was, and JJ's his name. He's a great guy. In the process, he was just calling me. He's like, hey, we're getting excited here. Do you want to do like a red carpet entrance? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And then he's like, do you want to do ice sculptures? I'm like, yes. So it just like he was getting excited. I mean, we had 2 different ice sculptures, like the shrimp are the size of my elbow. Like it was a great night. And I think that was 125 people joined us for dinner.
And
so
what
this year, so the morning session at my house, I'm going to keep the same, and dinner, we're going to keep the same. It was just, I can't replicate that any better. We're going to keep it. So in the afternoon, I have a 5-month-old. So he's currently at he has like PT, he has a little thing with his neck going on. So we're going to take it to the Joe DiMaggio PT Center. So we'll see the doctors there and some of the kids that are going through what they're going through right now, and spend a few hours with the kids there. So I think that's what will change in the afternoon.
Amazing
stuff.
Teddy,
I love how you the young guys, your little, like, what do you call them, night guys, the guys that just come for the games or whatever.
Yeah, game night.
Yeah,
that's great.
See,
that's why Florida Panthers, they take care of everybody.
Yeah, unbelievable. Teddy, also share with our viewers, our listeners. I guess this is taking it back, but your connection to hockey in Wilkes-Barre, it was a new sport there. Your father as well, and kind of how the pieces came together for you. I never met your father. I came obviously after, but explain how that kind of started for you, and I guess fortunate to be around Wilkes-Barre at that time with your dad.
I mean, just the story of how he got the opportunity to get the job. So my dad's from Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre had no hockey. We were not hockey fans. You couldn't play hockey. We got awarded a minor league hockey team. So at the time, my dad was a bus driver, and the team wanted to hire a full-time bus driver. So what they did is they had a partnership with the company was called Martz. And the play was, everyone thought this was going to be so cool. So they gave the guys with the most seniority, because they tried 3 or 4 different drivers out. So the guys at the top seniority went. And these guys would come back after a road trip. I'm like, man, that sucked. I hated it. Because like the bus driver would not only have to drive, he would have to help load and unload the bus.
Yeah.
So Martz got smart, the company, and said, instead of top seniority guys, we're going to give it to the guy in the bottom. So my dad was the lowest seniority bus driver because he was new there. He did it and he loved it. He embraced it. I remember actually his first rookie dinner, he called me. He was so excited how the size of the steak he was able to eat, So it was just something, it opened his eyes. And then it turned into where he was able to work with Doomy. So any day off, time off, he's there at the rink with Doomy to helping out a little bit, or maybe more just sitting around. But so what happened, that opened up the connections. My dad was the bus driver like we're talking about, and he passed away, I believe it was the 3rd year of the team. It was actually the day they were leaving to go play the finals. They were playing St. John. and the league actually pushed the series back so the team could attend the funeral.
Amazing.
Really sad. Yeah, Wilkes-Barre. I remember that bus, Army. Remember trying to clean that bus
we all
after these
cleaned
animals
it. Me, Hussey, and Teddy would just be cleaning. Coltsy would never clean it.
No.
Coltsy
He
would
was
never.
gone.
He's like, I'm out of here. Like
in his Lexus. He's out of here. But speaking of Wilkes-Barre, I know G wanted to hop on and ask you a question about it.
Yeah, Teddy. So you have had the pleasure of being the equipment manager for Biz, Witt, Army, Merles, and even the newest addition to the team, Keith Yandel. So I'd love to know, and I think all the listeners would love to know, who is the easiest and who is the most difficult, and one good story from all four of them.
Wow, that could take me a while here.
I'm on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Well, I love these two guys right here. I mean, it was a different time as well. I mean, Merle's is super. I think you would treat yourself to retape your stick every few days. I remember that. Like, you would never retape your stick. So
if I scored, I wasn't.
Yeah, so you were super easy, the old Nike skates, the gloves. Super, super easy for you.
Wooden sticks.
Yeah, yes. I mean, Army, remember you'd put on the board the dance parties after we win in the locker room?
NDP.
I forgot about that.
Remember the NDPs? I like.
Yeah, I left that first word out, but so you would do the naked dance party around the locker room. So we would win, and Army put that on the board for the, if we won the game. So he'd be dancing around. He had a whole skit.
I
love those. Yeah, I miss those. But so Witt, I remember we got Witt out of Boston University. He met us on the road. I remember we were on the road somewhere, and it was a team dinner. I remember showing up on the bus, and he was already in there sitting, and I'm like, who the hell is this kid? That was the first time I met Witt. But he was with us a little bit, but I liked him a lot. Biss, I spent a lot of time with. And actually, I was able to run into Biss a few times in Edmonton there. So we were able to, remiss some old stories of Wilkes. Biss was, he loved the rink. He was at the rink. I mean, he's a cheap guy. He would eat all the cereal, all the bananas, but he was very detailed with his equipment.
He was so cheap.
I'm telling you, he'd be taking like a ring of bananas home when he'd leave. Yeah. But I had a lot of fun with Biss. He's a great guy. Jans is another one. I owe so much to Jans in my career in Florida because he's a guy that actually him and I came to Florida the same year. That was the summer that Florida went and spent all the money in free agency. We got Jason Demers, Keith Yandel. And I would be honest, I probably didn't have the best start as a head equipment manager. Maybe I wasn't settling with the guys. I remember Yandel spoke up on my behalf and said he's really good. I've been a few other teams. Because there was a scenario where they had parted ways with the previous staff. I came in, maybe I wasn't, I wasn't as friendly to the players as the previous staff was. So things in the beginning, I learned, but Yandel was a big fan of mine from the get-go.
The opposite of cheap too. You go from Biz to Keith. It's just in terms of cheap and not cheap,
I'll tell you one more. I had
the best guys though.
I had Yandel's brother as well in Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
Oh, was he there too?
Yes.
BY.
Yeah.
Best guy.
Yeah, you've had everybody. Awesome another character of the show, Foley, or wasn't he down there? Or no, Havern. Ned Havern was down there.
Yes, yeah. So remember Ned, were you there when he was doing the shots before the playoff games?
No.
So he ask him about this. So he was the guy, I think he was a healthy scratch one year in playoffs. For some reason, we went on a playoff run where he would actually do a shot like 5:30 pre-warm-up, like a shot of whiskey. And we won. So he was the guy doing the shot. He said, where's my career come to?
This is you, Merles. Yeah. That's like something you would do, Merles.
Oof, jeez. Noah was cool, though. In Florida, thinking about shots before the game, we saw all the wives. There must have been 25, 30 wives. I think maybe some sisters, maybe some of the staff wives. They all gathered and did a shot in the concourse before that game 6. And when I saw that, I said, oh, my God, the wives are connected. This team is connected. There's no way they're losing.
Yeah, we definitely have a close group. I think that's led, Bill Zito, Paul Maurice's wife. They all lead the charge there. We have a great family room where when I first came here, that was another thing. When I first came here, we had a family room that players were allowed in, staff, we waited in the hallway for our wives and our kids. Yeah. It just, especially like we said, coming from Pittsburgh, it's like, that's just not how to do it. It's not the right way to do it. But, that room's too small. We have a much bigger, nicer room upstairs. So it's very accommodating. we just do it right now.
Yeah,
That's
small
awesome,
things,
buddy.
but they go a long way when you're talking about, 41 home games and then however many playoff games you guys been playing the last couple of years.
Yeah, culture and family, Teddy. That's what it's all about. That's the game, baby. Congrats, dude. Fucking awesome.
Thank you, Ted. Yeah, we'll probably let you get going. I know I got to get going, but I wish we could talk all night. I wish we got to meet up with you, but you're always working. We can't take you out and ruin the vibes and get you drunk and blow the Stanley Cup for you. But one of these summers, we're going to get together and, we'll tell the real stories that we can't tell on air. But thank you so much. You're our first equipment manager, our trainer, I think, ever in the history of Spit and Chicklets. So congrats on that. You'll probably put that up above the 3 Stanley Cups. But maybe we can do this on like a yearly basis just to keep in touch with you.
I would love that, guys. I've been like we talked earlier, having each of you as a player. So watching your shows, I'm able to relive my early years in my career. So I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I'm very proud of both you and all you guys.
Thanks, buddy. Official trainer of Spit and Chicklets right there, Teddy Richards, baby.
Yeah, maybe we can get him for a Chicklets Cup. Maybe that's what the Big Deal Selects need to finally get over the hump.
Yeah, we do. They do. They need that. And they need the culture change. Like Teddy.
They need a lot more than that, boys.
Yeah, he could be the missing link.
They're not even getting out of the first round of the playoffs in the Chicklets Cup right now. They need a lot more.
Oh man, that was so great of an interview catching up with Teddy. So well spoken, beauty. Can you imagine working for him and he's genuinely like happy like that? I've never seen him like get pissed off ever in the 3.5 years that I was with him down in Wilkes. Like just a great demeanor, workhorse attitude, obviously very organized, learn from other guys, learn from mistakes. But those guys, Merles, as you know, with your brother doing it too, just how organized and, their lists and thinking ahead so far too. Like you have to, because you got so much stuff. They have to look after that whole thing. And it's amazing. And, that's a long run for, the players, but those guys behind the scenes, no sleep, never home, just working their asses off. So congrats to Teddy and his entire staff.
Yeah, it's amazing what they do. Thanks again, Teddy. Let's get on to some league news. We already touched on Taves is going to Winnipeg.
That's amazing. What was the details on that? There it is.
I don't see anything.
Do we have
yet.
details?
Nope, that's it. We just got a meme. We just got memes. Jonathan Taves is closing in on a deal with Winnipeg Jets.
Does Pasha Friedman have details?
Coming home.
No details yet, boys, but
it is official though. The Winnipeg Jets just posted it as well, so
we were all
official.
over that. We got to find that clip. G, we got to find that clip.
Find the clips.
You think I didn't post that clip already? The second it happened, I posted it. 2 green check marks, and I said too. If you go back in the clip, I go 2 teams. Team number 1 was Winnipeg.
I gotta find it.
All right. Insider. Rumor boys. The Rumor Boys hit one every once in a while. Next up, Matt Duchene resigns with the Stars. 4 years, $18 million. He had a point a game last year, struggled in the playoffs, 18 games in the playoffs, only 1 goal, maybe 5-6 assists. So he really got shut down in the playoffs, but his regular season's been great. I don't know. He might still be getting paid from Nashville too.
And do you think it's crazy that, like, how old's he, right? He's 36, I believe. And, and they trade Marchment for a 3rd and a 4th as well and sign Dutchy. And here's the Marchment trade, 3rd and a 4th to Seattle. Obviously, they're pumped to have him, the guy that's been on runs, a guy that's had success, a big body, lanky guy, kind of like the league right now. Everyone's looking for guys like that. So Seattle finds a guy that can play like this. Some changes are obviously going to come to Dallas. We're hearing Robertson's in the, he was in trade rumors, Merles. So there's
I don't understand that one. I mean, that's a guy that I would play on the Florida Panthers. He's big, he's physical, gets over the line a little bit sometimes. Maybe that's what happened. He took a couple of bad penalties this year, but I would have given up more than that if I'm one of these Eastern Conference teams that I have to go against this Florida Panthers team. So that was a surprising deal for me.
I wonder if they just give in.
We could probably have Pasha come on and talk about this next one. New Jersey traded Halla to Nashville for Jeremy Hansel and a 4th-round pick. What are your thoughts on that there, Devil's sniffer?
Warning, the following statements are about to be made by a deranged Devils fan. The views expressed are his and his only. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt because, remember, he is a deranged Devils fan.
My thoughts on that are, I'm sad to see Holla go. I really liked him as a player. I thought he fit in with the Devils. He was a good Devil for the couple of years he was there, but the writing was kind of on the wall. His numbers were going down both on the ice and under the hood. And the Devils need to clear cap space. I don't think this will be the last move. From what I'm hearing, Palat might be getting dealt or somehow getting taken off the books. So I think the Devils are going to be making big moves. They need to obviously, sign Luke Hughes to a deal coming up soon. Mm-hmm. So these kind of moves were to be expected, especially I think Fitz even said, he goes, our bottom six needs a shakeup. You saw Tatar signed in Europe. So not entirely surprised by this move. The fact they got some assets for that, I thought was a win for Fitzy. But sad to see Holla go. I liked him a lot on the Devils. I hope to see him lift a cup in New Jersey, but it's how it goes.
Who is it down the middle now? What do they have? What
they got like? Jack Hughes, Heischer, and then their most glaring is they need a big 3C.
That's where Holla was Holla there,
yeah,
right? That was
sometimes he played wing on Jack's wing. He was kind of all over. He was very serviceable, but I would say their biggest need is a solid 3C, a Ryan O'Reilly type veteran.
They need a big guy. They need some big guys. Preferably. Yeah, it'd be preferably to get the big guy.
Oh, here comes right? G with some stupid.
Can I just say?
No, you can't say until
4 years.
Warning. The following statements are about to be made by a deranged Bruins fan. The views expressed are his and his only. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt, because remember, he is a deranged Bruins fan.
For 4 years, this asshole from Vancouver has been trolling me nonstop that the Devils fleeced the Bruins in the Holla for Zacha
I never
trade.
said fleece.
They just traded Eric Holla for an ECHL player and a 4th round pick.
You want to talk about finding fucking
clips. Got Mike Grinnell out there.
You want to talk about finding clips and getting the quotes. I said the trade is a win for both teams. Both teams win from that trade. I never said fleece. Yeah, fuck you.
You were saying they should put Zacha on waivers.
They should. He still sucks. He still sucks.
This has been an ongoing thing. This is true. This is true.
For years. Zacha is a shutdown. He's been a shutdown number 2 center for they're paying him $4 million.
Who has more playoff points since the trade for either team?
Who has more points in general?
Singsy in the chat. Singsy in the chat. Zacha stinks. Oh, what a
man. Oh, you got the
Singsy needs a Devil's disclaimer too.
Yeah, Jesus.
He's a Devil's sniffer too, so he has a disclaimer too.
In business meetings, pops in at the perfect time of the show to add his shitty New Jersey Devils 2 cents with Pasha about this deal. And Holla.
This was my mindsies. Pasha was getting sent to the mindsies.
This guy's acting like fucking Zacha won the Rocket Richard for the Bruins. The Conn Smythe. Zacha's a fucking bum. He's a serviceable 3C, but your team right now, he's looking at your 1C, your 2C.
And apparently Hall is not even a serviceable 3C for you guys. So
yeah, he is, but just sometimes you need to change the scenery.
Yeah, hey, a guy you shouldn't have traded, New Jersey Devils, is Fabian Zetterlund, and he just re-signed in Ottawa. Big deal coming out of there. 3 years, $12.8 million. This guy's a sniper. He was a great pickup. What do you know about him, Pasha?
Hell of a player. This guy is just built. He's short, but he's thick, built like a brick shithouse Barbashev type build. Cigarette machine. Yeah. Great player. Didn't like to see him go, but it was part of the Timo Meier deal. So part of the Meier deal. So you got to give stuff up. And I still love that trade for the Devils, but hell of a player. He's a sniper, works hard. Great deal for him. Great deal for Ottawa. He's a player.
All right. And Ottawa gets in the playoffs, and they got a little juice now. They got a little vibes. They got a little feeling. It'll be interesting. Keep an eye on them, but keep an eye on both your teams, G's and your team, the Devils, what they're going to do. Always in kind of in 2 different spots right now, obviously.
Very different spots. One team's going up, one team's coming down.
One team's searching and the other team's rock bottom. One team search. That's what it is right now.
Exactly.
G just did his Mindsies, so why don't we move on to show Mindsies, Pasha, while we got you on here?
Let's do it.
Great job, Army waiting. Great job waiting for the graphic.
I know. Pretty good.
Second to last show of the season. You got it. You got it down. Pasha, what do you got to the Mindsies?
My Mindsies is the Team Sweden brass. As we know, every team announced their sort of 6 preliminary players. And we already rolled the disclaimer. There's a key player missing here, a guy by the name of Jesper Bratt, who happened to have more points than Kempe, more points than Nylander, more points than Raymond, more hits than all those guys. Why is Jesper Bratt not on this? And I know it's meaningless. Who cares? He'll be on the team, all that. But just really ridiculous not to have the guy who has more points than all these other guys on there. Bratt continues to be one of the most underrated players in the league. So Sweden management, I don't know who's running the team. Mindsies.
Wow. Yeah, I can agree with you there, but this rolls right into my mindsies, Pasha. And just the fact that I don't know if it's the IIHF or the NHL had any to do with it, but announcing these teams in the middle of the Stanley Cup had to be one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. There was plenty of hockey to talk about in between the games. I wanted to hear the breakdowns of this and the injuries and the goaltending situation, the coaches changing. I didn't want to be hearing about some Olympic tournament in February. We got all summer to talk about that. Follow the NFL's, their game plan, their game notes. They have their season. They build up to the draft, and then they just keep dropping news so hockey stays on your brain and on everybody's talk and everybody's chats all season long. Mindsies to IHF or whoever decided to announce these names in the middle of a Stanley Cup final.
You know what? Merles, I had a different opinion prior. I was like, hockey's on fire. We're a great final. What a playoff run. Like, everything's happening. Inside of that, we get the Olympic top 6 players named. They drop them out. Like, I mean, we're just electric since the Four Nations. Like, what a season,
Yeah, it was too much, though.
Now that you say that, we could have had the slow dribble of news on our minds, to your point. Great thinking. I was just caught up in the, what do they call that? I was the dopamine. I was the dopamine. I was horned up. I was horned up for hockey. And I think maybe you're correct in the layout of that. Maybe we could have done it. We could have done it after
like this ends agency. Now. We got draft next week. Then you got free agency. And then maybe a week after free agency, once all the craziness, then you have that for that week.
Yes. Actually, brilliant idea.
There's no rush.
I'm on your side with that.
I brought you back with my take.
Now that my brain, it's like your brain. I'm a dopamine just ignited, and then you brought me down to a clearer thinking situation. Great job. Great mindsies. I'm with you on that one, buddy. My mindsies, I went to that comedy show last night. Adam Ray as Dr. Phil. It's just an improv show. He was electric last night, but I was sitting next to this guy, me and the wife. We're out on a date night. It was awesome. It was great to do it. I loved it. Guy in the show in the theater we were in, beautiful theater, Heinz Hall in Pittsburgh. Never been there. Unbelievable. And we've done some live Chicklets shows and live shows, and we were in these cool theaters, like the history and like how cool these theaters looked. I was in one of those theaters, and a guy next to us is vaping. Like, these vapors, they can't stop vaping. They're jonesing to vape all the time. They're just blowing clouds everywhere all the time. This guy's holding up like this electrical box device, and he's just pounding it like randomly. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why is this guy just blowing clouds in Heinz Hall Theater, like next to us? Like, it's just like these vapors are nuts. And I see the clips on the internet too of these people driving down the road, their windows like cracked open this much, and clouds are just billowing out of their thing. These vapors just going nuts. Why can you vape anywhere? You can't vape. I know it's hidden, but you can't vape anywhere. Are you vaping on planes? People vape on planes too. I think these vapors are nuts. Hey, is this a boomer moment by me? I don't know. Quit vaping. Vape dog, they're calling me. The vape dog. The vape dog. We got Merles. He's absolutely rock solidly frozen.
Gee, Merles' internet to the mindsies. Oh, there's G with the vape.
Gee,
sorry.
There he is. He's blowing clouds.
I didn't know I was getting brought on.
Blowing clouds. Gee, I love it. Oh my God.
So are we on show or mindsies right now? So
mindsies.
You got a mindsies, G.
All right. I already did my mindsies. So
go
Pasha,
to show.
You can go.
Go to show.
Oh, I'll do show. All right, I'll do show. I got big C's.
Oh,
Caesar has taken over the NHL playoffs. Look at this guy at 11, one of the best clubs in all of North America. He took over last night. They brought him up on stage. They gave him the champagne shower. Just incredible stuff. That's a dream come true for any fan, to be on stage with your favorite team, Stanley Cup, at 11. Everyone's chanting his name. And, getting to know Caesar over the past couple of weeks, it's been really cool. He's an awesome guy. He's been through so much, like more than anyone on earth could dream of, to imagine that this guy's been through. So, and then this at the elbow room, you have Walt, you have Matthew Tkachuk, the face of the NHL, Matthew Tkachuk right now. You got him and his father leaning over the edge going, Caesar, Caesar, Caesar.
Yeah, that was electric.
That is the most heartwarming thing I've ever seen. Shout out the Tkachuks. Shout out all the Florida Panthers. Shout out Big C's. But what a come together moment. It's a lot of great storylines from this Florida Panthers team winning the Stanley Cup. But Big C's coming onto the scene. First calling out Busy boy. Busy boy. It's been so awesome to see. So shout out to, I'm calling up Big C's to the show.
Yeah.
C's is the show. And I'm also calling up the Tkachuks, Sam Reinhart, all the guys, Big Walt, everyone who made C's feel like, he's just as a part of it as they are.
Yeah, and he was. He's their biggest fan.
Oh, yeah.
And, the fact that Witt kicked us out of the box that night, me and Merles ended up in this little, suite area bar, where the band plays. And I actually got to meet Big C's because of that, boots on the ground, wheeling around. Honestly, if you have a chance to meet him, if you go to a Florida game, the most positive, nicest, genuine dude that just loves his team. And he's kind of rallied everyone around him as the guy. So to your point, that show all the way for the players and the team to show love to him for his passion and positivity and support during these last few runs. He kept bringing that up, all 26 and a half of us scumbag fans. He was rolling.
That's what started the whole thing, was when Biz said the 26 Florida fans. He just became a content machine. At one point, he was when we were at the elbow room, he was giving out signed Big Caesar rats. And I'm like, this guy's a rock star. He's a full-blown rock star, and I couldn't be more happy for him.
Yeah. Great point.
Army, your show has something to do with the celebrations as well, I see.
Oh, mine does. And I love this. Marchand, of course, he went from one of the most hated guys in the league to, honestly, I think he's one of the most admired, loved guys now for his play, his energy, his interviews on TNT with Biz are electric. That started in the last few years, of course. And, his style of play, and he's a little guy, right? But he's just got this great personality. He's fun. He doesn't take himself too seriously. And so much so to the point where everyone's chanting, thank you, Buffalo, for Sammy Reinhart. He went on his Instagram and he posted the longest thread of every guy where they came from and thanking every single
Unbelievable
team for their player. This is honestly so Brad Marchand. It's so rat. It's so new age social media, and it just fits it exactly. Thank you, Jets, for Maurice. I mean, everything. Thank you, Blue Jackets, for Zito. Everything about this, when this dropped last night, I was dying laughing. That is show. That is veteran. After a great run with a group of guys that he loves. Do you see that? I posted that thing the other night. He's in half his gear. Also, he's got that jacket on that's glowing. He just looks like a badass. There's other clips of him at 11 last night, Merles. He's got 2 pairs of sunglasses on and a cowboy hat. And then one pair kind of falls down. He fixes them over top of the other sunglasses, fixes his cowboy hat. He's got 2 beers in one hand, one in the other. It's like the night I met my wife, actually. 16 years. Happy anniversary, honey. That show too. But
I was there for that night. After seeing that makes me think he's going back to Florida because he's just trashing all the other teams. He knows, all right, I can say whatever I want. I'm here for the next 3 or 4 years, and then I'm done. So I'm just going to troll everybody and keep everybody going nuts. And I can't wait for tonight to see what these guys get into. So Pasha, let's quickly go through your show here.
I mean, I don't want to be redundant, boys, but I mean, I can't in good conscience give anyone else a show than fucking Sammy Reinhart scoring 4 goals in the Cup final. Here's a little slideshow I put together of the goal. This is sick. Goal of the playoffs, maybe, and just right away, you knew it was over as soon as he tucked that one in. I know that I pump his tires nonstop, but 4 goals in a Cup clinching game. Who else is going to be my show other than that?
And stay tuned for our finals vlog that will be coming out. And I captured Pasha celebrating one of the goals. I think I got that sent to you, so you can be added to the vlog. You will see Pasha as a true Sam sniffer. And we're going to have a disclaimer for Sam Reinhart for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we should. And speaking of disclaimers and lack of credibility and scumbags, we have to put, someone has requested to come on here and have a mindsies.
Oh, please.
Meansy.
What airport lounge are you in, Meansy?
I'm home. I made her home 2 a.m. last night. I bussed home from Toronto.
You took a Greyhound bus?
They rescheduled me to fly from Toronto to London on Saturday, so I would have to like stay all day today
for no reason.
For no reason. But I'm sending Pasha to the mindsies.
Oh.
So we were at the bar and like his girlfriend's dancing and she's doing the lawnmower and Pasha's like, what are you doing? And I was like, she's doing the lawnmower. And he's like, funny fact, I've never mowed a lawn in my life.
Forgot about this.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's never used a lawnmower.
Sweet mindsies, Dale. Cool story. Tell that again.
Daddy, can you mow the lawn?
Yeah, we were questioning Pasha's manhood when he said he couldn't mow a lawn. He's never
just
mowed a lawn.
because I haven't mowed a lawn doesn't mean I wasn't doing other chores. I was under the hood fixing the cars, the oil changes, just getting under the
hood.
Brushing the barnacles off the family yacht. Yeah.
Happy to see you made it home in one piece, Meansy.
Yeah. It's harder to get to Canada than Sweden.
Yeah, I made it here a lot faster than you, buddy.
Hey,
I
Dale,
like how you got the Bish Nasty going too on your phone.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, Dale, when you got home and you finally kicked off those cowboy boots from like 2 weeks in Fort Lauderdale, how bad did those puppies stink?
They had to evacuate the apartment. It's Chernobyl.
Sober
all
up.
Right, Meansy. Finish up with my show, and that's why I got to kind of rush things along here today. It's midsummer here in Sweden, and I got to say, I got to call up the celebrations here. Midsummer is quite the day. It's always, see, these they're smart over here. Yeah, today's not the summer solstice officially, but they always do it on the Friday. There you go. You see the kids and the families dancing around. God, I forget what they call that cross you put in there, but that was a little celebration we had today already. So they always do it on the Friday before the summer solstice. You know how like our holidays, they can fall on a Tuesday or Wednesday. It's brutal. So they're smart. They do it always this Friday. The sun will be up all night. It's a long day. You know, we're about to have dinner here. You got the pickled herring. You got potatoes, meatballs, all sorts of salmon. You know, you get the cooked salmon, other kind of salmon. Always finish it off with some vanilla ice cream and strawberries. And then once the kids are in bed, Arm Dog, then we start working the schnapps.
Oh, the schnapps. Is that the move?
Yeah, the schnapps is the move. It's a tough one. Not like your peach schnapps that you drink back in the US. This is some fire water. And we have a great game here called Cub. It's called like these big wooden blocks. You throw them across the lawn. There's all these crazy rules, but it's a good tradition over here. I'm happy Edmonton. We're not in Edmonton for Game 7, and I'm here. But call up Sweden and their celebrations and how smart they are to have the holiday on a Friday.
Well, they just don't take their actual holidays as serious as we do. They're just like, fuck it, let's just do it today. Who cares? You know, like that's obviously, but it works out. I hear what you're saying. What is the history of this? It looks rather like weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
like
think it must
around
go way back in the ages. I don't know for sure, but because you survive the darkness all winter. So when you get the days like this, that the sun's out all night, you got to celebrate them. You got to go hard.
Now, do Swedes get absolutely piled during this? Like, do they get pickled or? Yeah, I find them to be rather reserved culture. Like, but they get in the schnapps and they really get her going.
Exactly. It's a few days a year where they really get it going. They'll be singing songs, and after every song, you got to do a schnapp, and then the food you're eating isn't like you're not eating pizza or anything. So you're not eating too much. You're eating little fish and little stuff. So you get pretty pinned.
Hey, G, hold on. In the chat right here, Clueless says Merle's created Midsummer. I love this.
I was just gonna say so I looked up midsummer. It actually midsummer celebrations predate Christianity and are linked to ancient pagan rituals honoring the summer solstice. So that's pretty crazy.
So the
and
Vikings,
then they play a game throwing wooden blocks that dates back to the same time too. Yeah, like it's
they call it. I saw it in US. It was called Viking chess one time.
You're in a cult, Merles. You're pretty much in a cult, kind of. It's kind of a culty thing.
Yeah. So, quickly, there is still hockey going on. It's crazy. We did the same thing. Calder Cup finals. Abbotsford Canucks are up 3-1 after their win last night. And then next week, we have the PWHL draft. And the reason this popped on my radar, a woman, Haley Wynn, she plays at Clarkson, just graduated. She's from Rochester, New York. And I coached her a little bit, some skills and stuff on the side. She's the number 2 rated prospect. So I'm looking into the draft and I'm like, oh, I wonder which team she's going to go to.
Yeah.
So you look at it and the top 3 picks are New York, Boston, and Toronto. And I'm reading about it. And the number 1 pick got this golden rule or something, Army. Do you know about this?
No,
the gold plan. So the gold plan is an innovative system used to encourage competitive play by all teams throughout the full regular season. Once a team is eliminated from playoff contention, the standings points earned in the remaining regular season games are classified as draft order points. So the non-playoff team with the most draft order points earns the higher pick in the draft, which that's all I dug into it. So I thought that was pretty cool so you're encouraged not to tank. So you got to keep winning. But then I found it a little weird because what if a team gets eliminated earlier? And then you know what I mean? They'll have maybe 8 games to get points instead of a team that got eliminated at the end that only had 4 games. So I didn't dig more into it, but I like that idea of not encouraging the tank, I guess.
Yeah. So shout out Haley Wynn. So she is the number 2 ranked prospect or rated prospect in the PWHL draft this year. You coached her, right?
Yep. Yeah.
What was she like? Like what are they gonna? What is one of these teams gonna get? Let's get the game notes pump for Haley Wynn.
Yeah, righty D man. She can skate unbelievable, like zipping in and out of the tires. We did all those. What's the Connor McDavid training thing there? The P2P or whatever.
Oh, what's that thing called? That stick handling thing with the thing.
Yeah, so we had all those, and it's a great coach. The guy I worked with, Francois Mathot. He does all the skills there. He's had her probably since she's 8-9 years old. He's taught her the whole way up, and just the work ethic I saw on her. It was crazy. She was at that rink every day. She was either coaching, she was training in the gym there on the ice. So yeah, really special. Her brothers, I always skated with too and help coach. They help coach us, really good guys and some character. So great family. Good luck to her. I hope she slips up to number 1. Some Czech girls rated above her, but you never know. Team might want a D instead of a forward.
I wonder if that's a Czech girl that was here at the Pens program. I saw her play. She's pretty good if it's the same one. They brought her over from Czech. She's really good, electric.
Yeah.
So
I didn't put her on there because I didn't want you laughing at me. What?
Haven't you guys been talking about that girl from Czech for years?
That's the Slovakian girl. She's still too young. This was a Czech girl. She played at Colgate. I didn't want to put the name on because then you guys would laugh at me for saying it wrong.
She's the girl. Yeah, let's pull up the name. Let's get you to say it.
No. All right. Well, you guys can work on pulling that up. I'm going to shut her down. I'm going to thank the chat. I'm going to thank our sponsor, DraftKings and Body Armor. There'll be a new Chicklets next week, back to the regular scheduled programs. We'll have our draft extravaganza next Thursday or Friday. We're still working on the details of that because Army will be boots on the ground out there.
I'll be on the panel running the draft. Yeah, the draft goes through me, kind of like Judd. The league runs through his phone. At Wasserman, the draft runs through me. I'll be with Sportsnet up there, working the panel, getting the draft done, all festivities, of course, day 1, first round. So stay tuned, and we'll have game notes before that at some point with our preview of the draft and hopefully line up some special guests, Merles, of course. But we got to get you go eating some pickled herring, bud. We got to get
can't wait. Next Friday will be our next show, our draft extravaganza. You know how we like to do the extravaganzas, people.
Yes.
Will be our last show of the season. And you never know, maybe we'll pop on Chicklets during the summer. They just got the interviews and stuff. We usually like to jump on for those. But subscribe. Remember, follow our Instagram and our Twitter. Bert has got those things buzzing now. There's all sorts of stuff on there. So make sure to follow those as well. Thank you for everything. Arm Dog, good to see you. Thank you to everybody in Florida, hospitality, restaurants. I went to a dinner. Oh, yeah, I got a couple thank yous. I feel like Biz. I got to
Get
give
him
a
in
couple
there.
thank yous from Florida. I forgot about this.
Get him in there, bud. You got him there?
Yeah, I went to
Thanks,
we went
Libby.
out to a dinner. I went out to a nice dinner at Tocado, and our boy Brady took us out there. I went with the Empty Netters, and it was an unreal dinner. Ross and his wife, they got us into the Panther Club after Game 6. They brought me and Memesy in there. My buddy Steve, and he had the smelling salts for us before Game 6. He's always in the concourse. Steve and his pals, they got a great group. Those guys were telling me, they're like, man, I don't know if we can do that, because I'm like, you guys are gonna. I'll see you guys next year. He's like, somebody's got. I don't know if I can do it. My job is taking a hit. My wife's so mad at me. He's like, we're out here every other night boozing. He's like, these playoff runs are killing me.
The Gretzky brothers
to a hero dinner, and then the security guard. I forgot his name. I didn't write it down. He was moving us around at the end of the games there at Game 6.
Awesome. So. Yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, we were that was an electric final for our trip and the treatment we had. So great job thanking all those people, Merles. Love that. Good job.
Thank you. And then I actually did see one thing in there in my notes I forgot to talk to you about, but we do it really quickly. About the handshakes. One, Evander Kane didn't come back out for it after he was suspended. And number 2, Paul Maurice shook the hands after. Just a complete, what do you call it?
Flip-flop.
Yeah, when you don't do what you say you're doing, like
you flip-flopped.
Yeah, what's the word? I'm brutal right now. So what do you think about both of those?
Well, Evander Kane, I don't know. Like, I know maybe you should. I don't know. He was kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
You're out of the game. I don't know. Whatever. He's getting a lot of hate from Oiler fans. They don't want him on the team anymore. So
if it was like anybody else, but it's because it's him. He's such an act.
Yeah. They're all over him for it. The Maurice thing, I was curious because you were in our chat going, what the hell? And then for the Chiclet show, you were traveling and you were writing, Maurice shook hands. So it's funny you bring this up because it's like ticking in your brain. I just think like Knobloch and their staff is like going to shake hands. Like they just completely like shut down
bullied
Maurice.
Them. Like he bullied Brindamore. He got bullied back. The only bullying the Oilers did of the Panthers all series came at the very end. But anyway, great finals, great season. Looking forward to the draft special next week with the Arm Dog.
Sounds good. Thanks, G. Thanks, Posh. Thanks, everybody. Merles, go enjoy midsummer festivities. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. And in the words of Connor McDavid, everybody, long days.